In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Zarkoni ruled with an iron fist, their colossal war fleets prowling through star systems like relentless predators. Their presence instilled terror, subjugating entire civilizations beneath their overwhelming might. Planets trembled at the mere mention of the Zarkoni name, a name that had become synonymous with fear and oppression. Their terrifying reputation spread like wildfire, echoing through the cosmos and silencing entire species, who surrendered without a fight, their cultures extinguished overnight. The Zarkoni had long been unchallenged, their hunger for dominance insatiable, as they continued to expand their empire across the stars, leaving nothing but devastation in their wake. Yet, in a distant corner of the galaxy on a small blue planet called Earth, a different story was unfolding. Humanity, which had always looked upon the universe with a mix of curiosity and trepidation, had been watching from afar, aware of the suffering inflicted upon their cosmic neighbors for centuries. They had nurtured a sense of curiosity about the stars, often dreaming of exploration and adventure. However, the realities of the galaxy weighed heavily upon them, as the cries for help from oppressed races reached Earth's ears, echoing through the halls of power. These desperate pleas served as a call to action, forcing humanity to confront the dark truths of their existence in a universe governed by brutality. The United Terran Alliance convened an emergency meeting to deliberate the ramifications of intervening in galactic affairs, a topic that stirred both anxiety and determination among its members. At the helm of this urgent discussion was Admiral Kayla Ansley, a seasoned veteran renowned for her bold decisions and unwavering resolve. With her piercing blue eyes surveying the council chamber, she addressed her peers, her voice steady and resolute. "We cannot sit idly by while innocents suffer," she declared, her words echoing with conviction. "The Zarkoni believe they are invincible, but they have underestimated humanity. We may be small, but we possess something they do not: unwavering resolve." Skepticism hung heavy in the air, as doubt crept into the minds of the council members. One counselor voiced the fears that lingered in the room. "Admiral, sending a single warship against their fleets is reckless. They outnumber us tenfold. We would be signing our own death warrant." Kayla leaned forward, her expression unwavering, determined to counter the fears that threatened to derail their mission. "No," she insisted, her voice firm and unwavering. "We would be sending a message. We may be outnumbered, but we have ingenuity, adaptability, and the spirit of countless civilizations behind us. We must fight for those who cannot fight for themselves." Her words ignited a flicker of hope among the council members, a spark that began to rally their resolve. After hours of heated debate, they reached a unanimous decision. Humanity would send one warship, the USS Indomitable, to confront the Zarkoni forces and rally the oppressed races to rise against their oppressors. The decision was not made lightly. It was a commitment to stand against tyranny and oppression, a choice that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. The USS Indomitable was unlike any other vessel in the Terran fleet. Its sleek, angular design was the product of advanced human engineering, a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the species. Equipped with experimental weaponry and state-of-the-art shielding technology, the ship represented humanity's best hope in the face of overwhelming odds. Commanded by Admiral Ansley herself, the crew consisted of the best and brightest from various disciplines, united by a common purpose: to show the galaxy that humanity would not back down in the face of tyranny, that they would stand up for what was right, no matter the cost. As the Indomitable sailed through the void, Kayla addressed her crew with a mixture of pride and determination. "Today we are not just a warship," she proclaimed, her voice filled with passion. "We are a symbol of resistance. We carry the hopes of the oppressed and the promise that their suffering will not go unpunished. We fight not only for ourselves but for all those who yearn for freedom." The crew erupted in cheers, their spirits soaring as they prepared for the challenge ahead. The ship's engines hummed with energy, each vibration echoing the determination and resolve of those on board. As the Indomitable traveled through the stars, Kayla took a moment to reflect on the journey that had brought them to this pivotal point. She thought of the countless civilizations that had suffered at the hands of the Zarkoni, their cries for help resonating within her. Each one represented lives lost, cultures extinguished, and dreams shattered. It was a weight that rested heavily on her shoulders, but she understood that they had a chance to change the course of history, to defy the expectations of those who deemed them insignificant. They were humanity and they would not be silenced. The crew prepared for battle, each member aware of the risks that lay ahead. They trained diligently, honing their skills and strategies, determined to make every moment count. As they approached the first Zarkoni stronghold, tensions ran high. The Zarkoni were a formidable enemy, known for their ruthlessness and overwhelming numbers. But the humans were determined to fight, fueled by a desire to protect those who could not protect themselves. They knew that the stakes were higher than their own survival. They were fighting for the hope of freedom across the galaxy. As they entered the enemy's territory, Admiral Ansley took charge, issuing commands with precision and clarity. "We will engage the Zarkoni fleet head-on," she declared, her confidence unwavering. "We will use their arrogance against them, exploiting their underestimation of our capabilities." The crew rallied around her, their determination palpable as they prepared for the impending confrontation. The Indomitable surged forward, a beacon of hope amid the darkness, as they faced the ominous shadows of the Zarkoni warships looming ahead. The initial skirmishes were fierce and chaotic. The Zarkoni fleets, caught off guard by the audacity of the Indomitable, struggled to regroup as the humans launched their surprise attacks. With every blast from their experimental weaponry, the crew of the Indomitable proved that their ingenuity could level the playing field. The battles that ensued showcased not only their tactical prowess but also their unwavering spirit. For every setback they faced, they adapted and retaliated, refusing to yield to the might of the Zarkoni. Days turned into weeks as the conflict escalated, transforming into a brutal contest of wills. Each side suffered losses, but the human spirit shone brightly in the face of adversity. The crew of the Indomitable became a symbol of resilience, their names whispered among the oppressed as they fought against the tyranny of the Zarkoni. As the battles raged on, it became clear that the humans were not merely defending their ship but igniting a spark of rebellion throughout the galaxy. Commander Kayla Ansley became a figure of inspiration, her leadership galvanizing the oppressed races who watched from the shadows. Messages of hope and defiance spread like wildfire, as word of their bravery reached distant worlds. No longer were they isolated victims. They were emboldened by the courage of the humans who dared to challenge their oppressors. The Zarkoni, once seen as invincible, began to feel the weight of their underestimation as they faced an enemy fueled by a righteous cause. In a final push, Admiral Ansley devised a daring plan to lure the Zarkoni into a trap, knowing that their reliance on brute force could work to their advantage. Under the cover of darkness, they prepared to exploit the Zarkoni's greed for dominance. They set explosives around a key mineral deposit, creating the illusion of a strategic retreat. When the Zarkoni fell for the bait, descending like vultures to claim their prize, the humans sprang into action. The explosion lit up the night sky, catching the Zarkoni off guard and igniting chaos within their ranks. Seizing the moment of confusion, the crew of the Indomitable launched their final assault, fighting alongside the allies they had rallied from across the galaxy. The tide of battle turned as the Zarkoni, disoriented and demoralized, began to falter. The humans pressed on, driven by the memories of those who had suffered under the Zarkoni's cruel reign. In the midst of the fray, Kayla fought with her crew, her heart pounding with adrenaline as they pushed forward, united in purpose and spirit. Warlord Zarin, witnessing the collapse of his forces, realized he had underestimated humanity's resolve. In a fit of rage, he ordered a retreat, vowing revenge against those who dared to challenge his empire. As the Zarkoni ships fled Alicia's atmosphere, Commander Ansley stood atop a hill, watching the enemies escape with a mixture of triumph and disbelief. The colonists who had stood beside her cheered, their spirits lifted by their improbable victory. They had faced a seemingly insurmountable foe and emerged stronger, unified by their shared resolve to fight against oppression. In the aftermath of the battle, Kayla gathered her team, their faces smeared with dirt and sweat, yet illuminated by the glow of triumph. "We've shown them what it means to challenge humanity," she declared, her voice filled with pride. "We are not just survivors, we are fighters. This victory is just the beginning." Word of their triumph spread throughout the galaxy, resonating with other oppressed species who had watched from afar. Humanity's stand against the Zarkoni inspired countless others to rise up, igniting a movement for freedom across the stars. The universe was changing and humanity was ready to face it head-on. As Kayla gazed into the stars, she understood that war had been thrust upon them, but they had embraced it with unwavering courage. The Zarkoni had learned a valuable lesson. Humanity would no longer remain a silent observer in the shadows. They would fight for their place in the galaxy, united against oppression and determined to champion the cause of freedom for all. Their journey had only just begun, and as the Indomitable set its course for new horizons, the crew carried with them the hopes of countless beings yearning for liberation. They understood that the galaxy was vast and filled with dangers, but they also knew that they were not alone. With every new ally they encountered and every struggle they faced, they would continue to forge a legacy that would echo through the cosmos. The battle for survival had been won, but the war for freedom was far from over. As they sailed through the stars, they became the vanguard of a new era, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The Zarkoni may have ruled with an iron fist, but humanity had proven that their resolve was unbreakable. In the far reaches of the galaxy, a new chapter was unfolding, one where humanity would take its rightful place among the stars, a beacon of hope for all who dared to dream of a better future. As the Indomitable continued its journey through the stars, the crew began to feel the weight of their actions settling in. The initial thrill of victory had transformed into a deep sense of responsibility. They were not just soldiers, they had become the embodiment of hope for oppressed civilizations throughout the galaxy. Each planet they visited echoed with gratitude and admiration, as the stories of their courage inspired those who had long been silenced by the Zarkoni's oppressive rule. The crew was welcomed as heroes, their bravery igniting a spark of resistance in places once thought lost to despair. They knew that their fight was not just against a single enemy but a battle against an entire system of tyranny that had prevailed for far too long. Admiral Kayla Ansley recognized that the struggle for freedom required more than just military might. She began to strategize ways to build alliances with the liberated races, fostering a coalition dedicated to mutual support and protection. With each new alliance forged, they pooled resources, shared intelligence, and collaborated on tactics to counter the Zarkoni's persistent threats. This newfound unity among the oppressed races not only strengthened their resolve but also inspired them to reclaim their worlds and cultures. Kayla's vision of a coalition, one that transcended species and cultures, became a rallying cry, encouraging all who had suffered under the Zarkoni to stand together and rise against their common oppressors. As the coalition gained momentum, the Zarkoni realized that their once uncontested reign was crumbling. Their fleets, once seen as an unstoppable force, now faced an adversary fueled by an indomitable spirit and a burning desire for liberation. Warlord Zarin, furious at the growing resistance, doubled down on his efforts to crush the uprising. However, the more he escalated his tactics, the more it galvanized the coalition's resolve. Kayla and her crew continued to lead the charge, coordinating strikes against Zarkoni outposts, sabotaging supply lines and disrupting communications. Each victory, no matter how small, was a step toward dismantling the oppressive empire that had long terrorized the galaxy. The tide of war was turning, and the once terrified civilizations began to believe in the possibility of a future free from the Zarkoni's iron grip. The fight for freedom had united them all, and as they stood together they were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting for their right to exist and thrive in a galaxy that had once turned a blind eye to their suffering. As the USS Indomitable propelled itself toward the Zarkoni stronghold, a massive fortress orbiting a dying star, the atmosphere within the ship was electric with anticipation and resolve. The crew was acutely aware of the gravity of their mission. They were on the brink of confronting a formidable enemy that had oppressed countless civilizations. When they finally arrived at the scene, chaos reigned around the fortress. Zarkoni ships swarmed like a horde of locusts, their dark silhouettes contrasting sharply with the faint glimmers of the dying star. But for Admiral Kayla Ansley and her crew, this chaotic tableau was not one of despair. It was a battlefield ripe for the display of their courage and ingenuity. Kayla's tactical brilliance began to shine as she quickly devised a series of maneuvers that would confound the Zarkoni fleet. With her crew's unwavering commitment, the Indomitable danced through space, evading the relentless attacks that rained down from the enemy vessels. The ship, sleek and angular, proved to be more than just a vessel. It became an extension of Kayla's will, navigating through the chaos with an elegance that belied the destruction surrounding them. Each strike back was executed with unparalleled precision, and one by one the Zarkoni ships fell. Initially dismissive of the single human ship that dared to challenge their dominance, the Zarkoni quickly realized their grave mistake. Their ships, once seen as symbols of invincibility, were now being dismantled before their eyes. As the battle raged on, word of the Indomitable's valiant struggle spread to the oppressed planets across the galaxy. Communication channels buzzed with excitement and hope, as long-silent species began to rise in unison against their oppressors. The Zarkoni commanders, enraged and prideful, scrambled to regroup their forces, vowing to crush what they deemed an insignificant threat. "Send everything we have," one commander shouted, his voice laced with fury. "Crush this insignificant insect." But by this point it was too late. The tide of battle had turned against them, and they were woefully unprepared for the ferocity and determination that humanity had unleashed. With their final offensive launched, a coalition of rebel ships emerged from the shadows, joining the fight against the Zarkoni. Ships from all corners of the galaxy, once terrified and oppressed, now soared through space under a united banner of freedom. Each vessel was a symbol of defiance, painted in bright colors that lit up the darkness like a kaleidoscope. Kayla watched with a swell of pride as these allied ships surged into the fray, their cries of victory resonating across the communication lines. Humanity had ignited a flame of rebellion that burned brighter than anyone had ever imagined, and the once mighty Zarkoni forces were overwhelmed, their arrogance proving to be their ultimate downfall. As the last Zarkoni ship fell, the atmosphere within the Indomitable transformed from tense focus to jubilant celebration. In the heat of battle, amidst the clamor of victory, Kayla received a transmission from the battlefield. "Admiral Ansley, this is Ambassador Roland of the Aran race. We owe our freedom to you and your crew. The galaxy will remember this day as the turning point against tyranny." The words resonated deeply with Kayla, but she remained humble. With fierce determination in her heart, she replied, "This victory belongs to all of us. Together we are stronger than they ever realized. We will ensure that this darkness does not return." As the final Zarkoni flagship erupted in a brilliant display of light, signaling the end of their oppressive reign, the coalition erupted in cheers. They had not only defeated their oppressors but had sparked a revolution that would resonate through the stars. The USS Indomitable, now more than just a warship, returned home a hero. Its crew celebrated, not merely as warriors but as champions of a new age, the heralds of hope and resistance. The galaxy had witnessed what humanity was capable of when pushed to the brink, and from that day forward, the name of Earth would be spoken with respect and admiration. The victory over the Zarkoni was not just a tactical win, it was a shift in the balance of power within the galaxy. The once dominant Zarkoni learned a vital lesson. They may have terrorized the galaxy, but in doing so, they awakened a force that would never bow to tyranny again. The spark of humanity had ignited a fire of resistance that would burn bright for generations to come. The coalition formed from this conflict would serve as a foundation for a new order among the stars, one where alliances were built not on fear but on mutual respect and shared determination for freedom. In the aftermath of the battle, as the Indomitable returned home, the crew reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. Each member had undergone a transformation, not just as soldiers but as ambassadors of hope. They were forever changed by the struggles they faced and the bonds they formed with the diverse races they fought alongside. This shared experience fortified their resolve and strengthened their commitment to protect the freedom they had fought so hard to achieve. Kayla, now a revered leader, understood the importance of this moment in history. She held firm to the belief that their actions would inspire others. As she looked out at the stars from the Indomitable's observation deck, she saw not just the darkness of space but a canvas for the future. The galaxy was vast, and they had just begun to carve out a place within it. The scars of past conflicts served as reminders of what they had overcome, but the horizon gleamed with the promise of new beginnings and untold adventures. The war with the Zarkoni had changed the trajectory of human civilization, propelling them into a new era of exploration and unity. With the Zarkoni's defeat, other species began to emerge from the shadows, emboldened by the courage demonstrated by the humans. Together they sought to rebuild their worlds, to reclaim their identities, and to foster a galaxy that celebrated diversity rather than feared it. The name of the Indomitable would become synonymous with resistance, and the legacy of Admiral Kayla Ansley and her crew would echo through the ages as a testament to the enduring spirit of freedom and the belief that even the smallest spark can ignite a revolution capable of reshaping the galaxy. As the galaxy began to heal from the wounds of tyranny, new alliances blossomed among the liberated races. The Indomitable's victory had not just shattered the Zarkoni's oppressive grip, it had sown the seeds of cooperation and mutual support across star systems that had long lived in fear and isolation. Delegations from previously conquered worlds sought to establish relationships with Earth and its allies, eager to learn from the humans' bravery and ingenuity. Kayla was approached by leaders from various planets, each seeking to share their knowledge and resources, hoping to fortify their defenses against any potential threats that could rise in the future. These meetings marked the beginning of a new diplomatic era, one defined by shared goals and collective security rather than domination. Amidst this newfound camaraderie, Kayla and her crew also recognized the importance of preserving the stories of those who had suffered under Zarkoni rule. They worked diligently to document the histories, cultures, and traditions of the liberated civilizations, ensuring that their voices were not lost to time. The Indomitable became a traveling archive, a vessel of cultural exchange and understanding that facilitated the sharing of knowledge among species. Through exhibitions, intergalactic summits, and educational initiatives, the crew fostered an environment where stories of struggle and resilience were celebrated, creating a rich tapestry of experiences that highlighted the galaxy's diversity and interconnectedness. As the years passed, the spirit of resistance sparked by their triumph continued to flourish, inspiring generations of future explorers. The Federation of Free Worlds was established, an organization built on the principles of equality, justice, and mutual respect. Kayla, now an esteemed leader within this federation, understood the importance of safeguarding the hard-won peace. She actively advocated for a policy of proactive defense and collaboration, emphasizing that the key to lasting security lay not in fear but in understanding and unity. With each passing year, the galaxy transformed into a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of resilience, where the stories of the oppressed were woven into the fabric of a collective identity. And at the heart of it all remained the indomitable spirit of humanity, a spirit that would forever inspire others to rise against tyranny and champion the cause of freedom throughout the stars.